Hello, everybody. It's so good to see you all. My name is Danni Wells, and I am going to share a little bit about Arbonne tonight and how I actually heard about this. So I have had my business for coming up to 10 years. I'm celebrating my 10-year Arbonne anniversary in a couple of months, which
I'm back
blows
in,
my
and
mind.
there's
Because when I first started this business, I was just thinking about the first year and how I could create some income and get through from paycheck to paycheck over the next coming few weeks. That the thought of actually having this business for 10 years actually was a little bit crazy. So what I'm going to do over the next 10-15 minutes, I'm going to talk about the 5 questions that I asked, that I learned about when I first heard about Arbonne and what was important to me. So let me take you back right to the beginning. So my background was actually working in ophthalmology. I worked for Specsavers Opticians in the UK, and I absolutely loved what I did. I did not ever imagine having a career change. I never thought that I'd do anything different. I thought I would retire with Specsavers and that would be that. But what happened was me and my husband had 2 children. And our second daughter, unfortunately, had a stroke and a brain hemorrhage. And it like literally came out the blue, pulled the rug from beneath us, and just completely took us by surprise because we weren't prepared for this massive level of impact. So I ended up taking a year off work to be with my daughter in hospital to try and care for her and be there for all of the procedures and appointments and things that she needed. And in that year, I wasn't getting paid, obviously. So my husband was then trying to pick up the financial loss from my income. So we went from a household with 2 incomes to one very like overnight. And he was working overtime, he was working weekends, and he wasn't able to make enough money quickly enough for us to pay the bills that we had. So we ended up getting into a lot of debt, and this went on for 2 years. So we got into loads of debt for 2 years, and then my boss at Specsavers basically said to me, "Look, Danni, I know your daughter's really ill." She'd then been diagnosed with cerebral palsy at this point. He was like, "Are you coming back to work? What's happening?" And I had to make the gut-wrenching decision to say I wasn't going to be returning. Now, that was heartbreaking for me because I loved my job and I needed the money and I needed a way to support my family financially. But because my daughter was always in hospital and she was in and out, she was having seizures, she had like 3 or 4 different appointments every week, I wasn't able to commit to a normal job and put hours in to get paid. So it just wasn't able to happen. And I actually went on to government support. So in the UK, we call that benefits, where the government give you money and help support you. Now, I hated this because I'd always been somebody that from turning 12, 13 had got a paper round and was working and was earning money. So then having to rely on support from the government, I felt really uneasy and really uncomfortable with it. So I started looking for a way to make money. And what was interesting to me was laptop-based businesses. But it's funny I say that because I actually didn't have a laptop at the time, but I was looking for a laptop-based business. But really, I was looking for something I could do from my phone while I was in hospital. So everything I looked at required a lot of investment or a lot of skill, which I didn't have. So when I actually came across somebody on Facebook that had started their Arbonne business, I was really intrigued and I wanted to know 5 things, which is what I'm going to tell you about tonight. The 5 things I wanted to know from what she was doing Arbonne were: why Arbonne over other franchises, over other businesses? What are the products like that you can sell? How does it actually work in simple terms? Number 3. Number 4, what are the different ways that people can get involved? And number 5, how much money can you earn? So I am going to share with you those 5 questions that I asked her and how she told me about how this all works. So there's my slides gone. Oh, I think I've lost my slides. So sorry. There we go. It's getting back up again. Right. So the first things first that I said to her is, why Arbonne over other companies? So she said to me, "You know how you work at Specsavers?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she said, "You know, the products that you sell are obviously glasses and lenses and hearing aids?" I said, "Yes." And she said, "So when those products are made and they're sold to the customer or the client, the person needing those items, there are a lot of expenses in the middle that are being added to the end product. So when you walk into the opticians and you buy your glasses and you pay, say, £100 for them, they don't actually cost £100 to make. Like, shock horror, they cost pence to make. But what happens is the price goes up to pay for advertising, the shop front, the marketing, the wholesaler, the driver that drives them from the wholesaler to the store, the person in the store that puts them on the shelf, the person in the lab that puts the lenses in the glasses, the person that gives you the glasses in the case. So all these people in the middle get paid. Now, that made complete sense to me, because that is how retail is. Like, when we go and buy a cup of coffee from a coffee store and we pay £3.50, we know it costs probably pence. So all those added parts in the middle are just paying all these different people. So my friend said to me, what Arbonne is a company that create these incredible products, but they don't go through that traditional retail route. They literally are made and then they're sent straight to the consumer, straight to the person using that product. So that person that's using shampoo gets them delivered straight to their door. So you're cutting out all this middle mess. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's absolutely incredible. I was like, well, why? And she said, basically, the founder who founded Arbonne over 40 years ago, he was raised by a single mom, and he could see that she was working all these jobs, just trying to make ends meet, just to make sure that her family had everything that they needed. And he ended up working in the cosmetics beauty industry. So he walked away from his career in the cosmetics beauty industry because he could see the toxins and nasties that were going into these products that were causing people to have these long-term health issues. He walked away with his knowledge and said, I'm going to set up a business that makes clean products that don't make people ill, but I'm not going to sell them through the traditional retail route. I am going to sell them via word of mouth, because women like my mum, who would have loved to have had more time with her children, would have loved to have been at home more, would have been able to make money from something like this, like word of mouth, helping people shop and not having to, say, for example, like for me, when I worked for Specsavers, go through that whole rigmarole when my daughter was ill and not being able to be exactly where I wanted to be, or sacrificing the financial side of it, so not having enough money. So when my friend was telling me this story, I was thinking, gosh, this company sounds absolutely amazing. So basically, they've got these great products. It's like from farm to table. The products are made, they get delivered straight to the customer, and we get paid for the referral. And she was like, yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, I've never heard of anything as good as this. This is right up my street. I can do this from my phone. I can do this from like in hospital when my daughter's ill. I can literally do like an hour here, an hour there, and create this incredible income for me and my family without having to sacrifice, without having to leave my child. I was like, yes, brilliant. So that was question number one. Question number two.
Danni, how are you? I just wanted to drop you a little message and just say thank you so much for sharing that story. Like, I've known you a long time, but I never knew any.
There we go. So I was like, tell me a bit about the products, because at that moment in time, my two children had really bad skin. They would literally be up in the night scratching their skin until it would bleed. And I'd been to the doctors and tried multiple different products. Lots of products would work temporarily for a day or two, and then their skin would flare up again, and it wouldn't actually get to the root cause of it. And I had spent so much money on trying different potions, lotions, and creams, never got rid of it. So when I asked my friend about the products, I was like, tell me a bit about the products that this company sells. So she said to me, okay, so all of these products are based on Petter's vision when he created Arbonne, which was clean, plant-based products that actually work. People are sick of buying products that don't work. And I was like, yeah, I've got a drawer full of products that I've spent money on that don't work. So she said to me, when you buy your products from the shop, so let's say, for example, I was buying hair and body wash for my children, those products are probably about 3 or 4% actual ingredients in the bottle. And then the rest of the bottle is just watered down with toxic waste, like, for example, mineral oil. So I'd never actually heard of mineral oil. But she said to me, when they extract crude oil from the ground on the oil rigs to get fuel for the cars, so like petrol for your cars, and they extract that crude oil from the ground, they're left with like a dirty scum at the top. And what they do is they scrape that dirty scum off the top, and it's basically deemed not good enough for fuel. It's deemed not good enough for petrol, and they sell it to the cosmetics industry. who this is mineral oil. This ingredient is called mineral oil, and it's sold to the cosmetics industry so they can water down their products to maximize profits. It's absolutely disgusting. So when I went home and had a look at all my products, I realized that everything that I was using had mineral oil in. My lip balm, I was like, oh, that's why my lips are always so chapped. My shampoo, oh, that's why I have to wash my hair so often. My sun cream, oh, that's why I get prickly heat. My kids' body products linked directly to why they had such severe skin issues. So when my friend was telling me about this, she said people are getting sick and tired of buying these toxic products, and they cause long-term health problems. I mean, just look at the links with deodorants. I mean, my goodness me. So she said this company refused to do that. Their products are completely clean. From the top to the bottom of that bottle, there's no toxic waste in there. There is no fillers. There's no watering down. Everything is pure. Now, what this meant was that these products, they last so much longer. So my initial purchase when I decided to do Arbonne was to buy the kids' hair and body wash because my kids had awful skin. Now, I'm just going to be totally honest with you. When I first looked at buying the kids' hair and body wash 10 years ago, it was about £15, 1.5. Now, that might not be a lot to some people, but for me, that was quite a lot of money. Just living on benefits, that was a massive stretch. So I was a little bit hesitant to purchase the kids' hair and body wash because of the price. And I asked my friend who was telling me about the business, I was like, oh, I don't really know. And she said, look, I'm going to level with you, Danni. One of those bottles from Arbonne is probably the equivalent to you using 30, 40 of your £1, high street products. Think about all the bottles that you're throwing into the environment waste. And I was like, oh, I suppose when you think about it like that. And she said, plus, you're probably going to see results from this. So is it worth it? And you don't have to ask a parent twice, is something worth it when it's going to make a difference to their kids? Like, yeah, of course it is. If it's going to make a difference, yes. But I was a bit hesitant because I thought, well, is it? Because this is probably like the 30th, 40th product that I've probably bought. As it happened, I decided to buy it because Arbonne actually have a 90-day money-back guarantee, even if you use the product up. So I just thought, if this company's willing to refund their clients within 3 months if the products don't work, like that says something to me. I don't really know any other companies that do that. So I invested in it. I bought it. Within 4 days, my kids' skin had cleared up. Never, ever, ever did they have a flare up again. And that's been 10 years. And that's not my only astounding results with the products. I've had multiple different astounding results with the products, but I won't go on about that because I just wanted to talk about the products there. So the next thing that I asked her, question number 3, how does it actually work? So she said to me, these products are made in the manufacturers and then they are shipped straight to the person using them. So when your customer goes online and they order their prebiotics, their protein shake, their toothpaste, their self-tanner and their lipstick and their mascara, it gets shipped straight to them. So it's not going through that whole middle process that happens in traditional retail. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Great. But how does the customer know? I'd never heard of Arbonne. How do they know? If they don't advertise and they don't have a shop in town, how do people know? So she said, well, that's the beauty of word of mouth, isn't it? And at the time, funnily enough, 50 Shades of Grey was becoming quite popular. And I didn't realize this, but she said to me, have you heard of 50 Shades of Grey, the book? I was like, yeah, I have. She said, did you know that they didn't pay for any advertising? It's all word of mouth. And I was like, oh, gosh, yeah, actually, you're right. And at the time, there was no advertising. It was just word of mouth. So she said, word of mouth is the most powerful form of advertising. She said, Danni, have you ever booked a holiday without checking on TripAdvisor first what people think to that holiday? And she got me there. I was like, no, I haven't. So she said, word of mouth is so powerful. People want to hear a real opinion from a real person that's had a real experience. So she was like, this is why this business is so successful, because it's just based on real people like you and me using these products, just sharing honestly what we think. And that took me by surprise because I thought, you're so right. If I don't even watch a movie without checking what other people think to it first. Like, I want to know, did you watch it? Yeah, what did you think? So word of mouth is incredibly powerful. So that was kind of like in the start of how this business model actually works. So then she said to me, if you decide that you want to do Arbonne, you buy the rights to your online franchise, which is £70 a year. And I was like, okay, so £70 a year for my online website, that works out about £5 a month. And that is my whole website built for me. My customers can go onto my own personal website and order, and those products get shipped straight to them. I don't hand deliver them. She was like, correct. I was like, what about customer service? She was like, there's a customer service center in every country that speaks every language. So Polish, you got French Canadian, we're in America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, obviously across the UK. So I was thinking, gosh, for my £70 a year, that's a customer service center in every single market for all of my clients across the world. She said, yeah. I was like, oh my goodness, this is incredible. And on top of that, I was like, what about the training? She was like, that includes the training as well. So you get online training, WhatsApp help, Facebook support, you get a mentor or a coach that you can contact for help. I was just thinking, oh my gosh, this business just sounds too good to be true. And I was literally like, yeah, I'm in, like, say no more. I'm absolutely in. This sounds absolutely incredible. So I was in, I started, I paid my £70 and I've got my website. I bought some products that I could start using, and I started building up my own personal testimonies. So the first product that I got was the kids' hair and body wash. Within a few days, my kids had had a transformation in their skin, and it was clearly noticeable on the school run, because I actually got collared by a couple of the school mums who said to me, Danni, the girls, their skin on their face, it's cleared up. What have you done? And I said, oh, bearing in mind, this was right at the beginning of my journey, so I didn't quite understand how to explain Arbonne. So I said, oh, I've started buying this product from this Switzerland company called Arbonne. You know, it's been around for 40 years. It's amazing. You can only buy it online. They do not have a shop. It's only via somebody who's got an exclusive website, like a representative, a consultant with an Arbonne website that you can buy from. You can't buy it anywhere else. And it's amazing. This company actually refunds you if the products don't work. So these school mums were like, wow, I want to buy it. How do I buy it? Where do I go to? I was like, well, I've actually bought the rights to a website, so you can buy it from me. So they were like, brilliant, send me your website. So when I got home on WhatsApp, I sent them my website. And then within about 20 minutes, I had a little ping on my phone, and two of them had bought some products. And I got paid the following week for that. I was like, wow, this business is actually really amazing. Gosh, wow. I don't know, it just took me by surprise a little bit. So they bought these products, and then one of them had a transformation with her kids. It helped their skin. So she told a work colleague who I didn't know. I didn't know this work colleague, but this work colleague got my website and ordered these products, and I got paid a percentage from her shopping order. I didn't even know her at the time. She was a stranger to me. Obviously, once she ordered, of course, I reached out to her and said, you know, thank you so much for the purchase. Can I add you on Facebook? Like, I'm so grateful. But that was a stranger. So it blew my mind that actually you don't really need to know many people for this business to work, because once one person uses your products, they start telling other people who are strangers to you that then become your friends. So all of a sudden, your network starts to grow. And then what happened then? That stranger, she had a next door neighbor who then started asking her about these Arbonne products. Guess what? She went onto my website and ordered products. So I had one friend who told a stranger, who then started ordering products. And then she had a sister in Australia who got my website and started ordering products. Ping, on my phone, somebody in Australia has just ordered a load of products. I got paid a commission on that. So this is how this business starts to grow. So you tell one person and they tell somebody and they tell somebody. And it's a bit like the ice bucket challenge. You nominate a few people, then they nominate a few people, and they nominate a few people, and it just grows like wildfire. So my fourth question was, how do people get involved? And the answer is there's 4 different ways. So number one, somebody can just order off your website and pay full price. Now, I personally prefer people to actually become a preferred client and pay £10 a year, because they actually get a discount on all the products. Like, I don't know if you guys have been into Tesco's recently, but if you don't have a club card on you, you have to pay full price. Nobody likes paying full price. I'd rather waive my club card and get that magic zinger thing that they do on the adverts and get a discount. So option number 2 is preferred client. So these people get a wholesale discount on these products, 20% off minimum, and they actually get a bigger percentage off if they do a bigger order, and like free gifts, etc., etc. So I prefer people to be a preferred client, but if you know somebody that wants to pay full price, they absolutely can be a client, no problem. The third option is our incredible Replenish Me. I literally went to all my clients in Australia, in New Zealand, America, Canada, in Poland, across the UK, and I was like, you need to look at Replenish Me. It is the most unbelievable program. It's an auto ship, which you set to 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or every 6 months. It's so easily manageable as well. It's not like one of these auto ships, you know, where you sign up and you need like a degree to try and like pause it or come out of it. No, it's not like that. It's so easily manageable. You can pause it, you can change it, you can move the date, you can bring it forward, you can push it back. Every auto ship that you have set, you can change the product. So you get an email a week before asking you if you want to change your shopping, which you can do easily. You get a free gift, which is unbelievable. You get to pick a free gift. And then every time you've done 3 auto ships, on the 4th, you get a £40 credit. I mean, that is just shocking. I've just had a preferred client have her 4th auto ship. Their order was almost free. I think she paid like a couple of pounds for it. So that's, in my opinion, if you're going to shop and not build a business, that's where you want to be. Replenish Me. And then the 4th one is what I chose to do, which was to have my own business, independent consultant. Absolutely the best option, in my opinion, because you get to use all the products. Your job is to tell people what you think to the products, which is just great. And you get so many other perks like training. We get to go to fun events. We get recognition. You get recognition for everything, basically. If you've ever been in a job and you feel like you don't really get recognized, this is the place where you want to be. We get sent things like mugs and hats and all kinds of like merchandise just for doing our job and being amazing. We get shout outs. We get to walk the stage. I know quite a few of us are going to Las Vegas in a few weeks. So we're going to go and see what all the new products are that are coming out this year. And some people get to walk the stage in representation of their success. And you can earn trips. I've just earned a trip to Dubai, which is paid for 2 people, but I'm actually paying a supplement to bring all 4 of my children. So the 6 of us are going to go to Dubai in September, which is just, it just takes my breath away. This business is the absolute bee's knees. Right, the last question that I had was, how much do you earn? So there are 4 levels in Arbonne, and you basically work your way through the 4 levels of, let's say, promotion by building your experience, I would say. So the more experienced you become, you get promoted, and it's based on turnover through your business. So as you get better at doing Arbonne, your turnover grows, more people are buying from you. And then you go through these promotion levels. So level number 1 is a district manager. It took me 4 months to become a district manager, but I am aware that some people on this call have done that in like their first month, and that's amazing. So for me, it took me 4 months. My first paycheck as a district manager, I think it was about £500. So it wasn't life changing, but it was enough for me to come off benefits, which was what I wanted. My initial goal was to come off government support, come off benefits, which was what I did. So within 4 months, I was earning £500 a month, came off benefits, and just felt like I can keep building my business and growing. So level number 2 is an area manager. And it took me from start, it took me 6 months to become an area manager. And my paycheck at this level was about £2,000 a month. So at this point, for me, that was life-changing money. That meant my husband could leave his job and set up his own business. Because our daughter was so poorly, she was in and out of hospital all the time, he actually wasn't able to be with her in hospital. So I had to do it on my own. He wasn't able to be where he wanted to be because of the job that he was in. So when he left, he set up his own business, and he had that flexibility to be in hospital with our daughter. She had mum and dad there every single time that she got rushed in, which really is massively life-changing. You can't even put a price on that. Level number 3 is regional vice president. And from starting, it took me 11 months to hit this level. And my paycheck here was about £5,000 or £6,000 a month. And this is the level that they call the White Mercedes level. So Arbonne actually offer you an extra cash award to choose a White Mercedes of your choice. And I've actually, over the last 10 years, had, I think, 4 different White Mercedes. Love them, absolutely love it. I went from a really rubbish car, Fiesta, that was breaking down, to a stunning White Mercedes, which I love. So that's regional vice president level. And then the top level, national vice president, it took me 4 years. It has been done quicker. It's been done in 6 months if you fancy yourself as a bit of a quicker person, but it took me 4 years. And at that point, national vice president, my average income there was about £10,000 a month, which that was completely life-changing. Me and my husband had rented our house for years and years and years. We'd never been able to buy. And when I hit this level, we were able to purchase our dream home. So the first house we bought was our dream house, and move into it. And it was literally what dreams are made of. And we're still living in it now. We love it. And it enabled us to have 2 more children. Like we'd said, we can't have any more babies. We can't afford it. We're just not practical. But because of this business, we had 2 more children. And now we have been so lucky, and have four daughters in total. So this business really has changed my life completely. So to wrap up, the difference that this has made for me is I have grown friendships all over the world. So people in Australia, people in New Zealand that I'm now like best friends with because of this business. It has grown my confidence massively. It has enabled my family to grow, enabled us to buy a house. And it's just given me so much purpose. I wake up in the morning now and I'm excited for life. Whereas I look back before and I was always tired. I was always a little bit miserable. I was always a bit snappy. Whereas this business has just given me purpose. And I love nothing more than to see people join this business and change their own life, whatever that means for them. Everyone's got a different take on what that means for them, but it just gives you so many opportunities. So if I was you, I would have a real serious think about where you're going to be in the next few years. So in the next few years, do you see your life staying exactly the same, or do you see your life being different? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want a bigger family? Do you want to reduce your hours, enable your partner to leave their job? Do you want more time flexibility? Whatever it is, have a real serious think about it and think, what I'm doing now, is that going to enable my life to change? And if it's not, could this be something you could do alongside your life for the next year or two to give you those opportunities, to enable that to happen? And then if you've got some more questions, so my 5 questions that I asked to the girl that introduced me, I got them answered and I joined. I was all in. So have a think about what your questions are. Ask the person that told you about Arbonne or invited you to have a listen to this call, get those questions answered. And then if I can give you any top tip, just jump in because you will have the best time. You'll have so much fun doing this business. The people are lovely. The recognition's amazing. The what you get to learn is incredible. And you could change your life drastically over the next 10 years because you said yes to doing Arbonne. So thank you so much for listening to me. I've enjoyed spending this time with you. Get your questions answered. And hopefully I will see you at the next Arbonne event as an independent consultant. Bye.